everything else aside, his skill set, what he brings to the table, how much they won this year, whatever, last year, it has to be mostly the fact that the Charlotte Hornets absolutely hate Lamelo Ball. Last night, I'm chilling. I'm watching Netflix. I'm done for the day. It's almost bedtime, you know? I'm planning on hanging it up for the day. I just so happen to look at my phone at like 12:10, and I see that the Hornets are trying to trade Lamelo Ball. So then the rumors come out that the Minnesota Timberwolves are the ones trading for him. Let's listen to the original breaking news from Shams on ESPN, and then give our opinions on it. Here we go.
Anytime you have Anthony Edwards, you have a pressure to win. You have to pay to win. And this in LaMelo Ball is a big swing for the Timberwolves. Tim Connolly is no stranger to making these types of moves with some calculated risk. We saw several years ago when he went out and got Rudy Gobert. That's led to some playoff success. Now you go out and get LaMelo Ball. The Timberwolves felt the last couple of years point guard was a major need for this team. And they actually did look into LaMelo Ball a couple times over the last season, but they finally get him now. This is a high price. LaMelo Ball is at the peak of his value at this point. And last night, near the end of the second round, I started hearing that they were going to be moving potentially LaMelo Ball, because not that they were shopping him, but they were getting several teams inquiring, reaching out, making offers. Minnesota, Toronto, there were others as well. So
it's just so interesting to me that the Charlotte Hornets feel like they need to move on from LaMelo Ball. And there's another team that's like, we need LaMelo Ball, right? And there's the whole, like, he's not a winning player. He's not going to take a team anywhere, that people say. And the Minnesota Timberwolves are like, we need that player to help us get over the hump and win. It's just it's two totally different opinions on a player. Let's hear the rest of this from Shams.
Charlotte didn't start this offseason saying we're going to trade LaMelo Ball, but the offers just got so rich, as we see here. And there was always a sense, if it got to that point, the Hornets would not be afraid to move on. He's beloved there. But this price, getting Naz Reid, an unprotected first-round pick that's far out, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 3 second-round picks. And Naz Reid fills a major hole on the front court for the Hornets.
That's a lot. That's a lot for LaMelo Ball, man. 2033 unprotected, 3 first-round pick swaps, 28, 29, and 30. Holy moly.
And searching for a big man in the marketplace over the last few weeks, and you get Naz Reid. He plays both ends, can shoot the 3. And for all the chatter about the spending of the Timberwolves, we saw them dump Julius Randle for basically nothing. Mm-hmm. Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez, their owners, now enter the luxury tax with this trade for the 3rd straight year. They get LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards reunited because they were the number 1 and number 3 picks in the draft. Ant went number 1, LaMelo Ball went number 3.
That is true. Yeah, so, I mean, like, if you look at what the Minnesota Timberwolves needed, right, they were a big physical team that didn't have enough perimeter shot creation, didn't have enough shooting. And especially when Anthony Edwards was injured for those couple of games in the playoffs, and even when he came back, he was playing injured, even though he played incredible. They just didn't have enough perimeter, play. Like, Jaden McDaniels is not a guy that is going to create from the perimeter consistently and give you 25 points a game. He had a 30-point game, and then he had an 11-point game, Julius Randle can't create from the perimeter consistently. So they needed to get another high-level perimeter creator next to Anthony Edwards, at least they felt. And that's what they did. I want to say that I feel like LaMelo Ball gets a bad rep, first of all. He gets a bad rep. Look, is he a jackass? Yes. In press conferences with his shirt off and his pants below his ass, and does LaMelo Ball act like a 17-year-old running through a city, robbing buses, snatching purses? Yes. That's what he acts like. He does act like a jackass. Don't get me wrong. His dad's a jackass. So, let's call that what it is. But as far as his on-court production, you can't argue it. Do I say that he plays the game like he's wearing slides? Yes. Do I say that he plays the game like he's wearing AirPods? Yes. But you got to look at it like this. Have the Charlotte Hornets ever really demanded anything from Lamelo Ball? They've just been, what's it been, 6 years? They've just been like, hey, go out and do whatever the hell you want. You're selling us tickets. This is essentially a circus. People are just buying tickets to the circus. We know we're not going to win anything. They just want to see Lamelo Ball shoot a one-footed step-back three from half court. He's never had a team demand of him to really be a leader or really change the way that he approaches the game. I feel like just the Minnesota Timberwolves feel like we can get the best out of him. We can get him in this organization and get him to buy into winning, get him to buy into using his skill set and his abilities in more of a winning way. That's what they feel like. I don't know if they're right. I don't know if they're wrong. But I do think LaMelo Ball gets a bad rep because of his perception, because he is an idiot off the court. But let's not confuse the fact that he averaged 20 points per game last season, 7 assists per game, 5 rebounds, 37. Wait for this stat right here, bro. A lot of people act like LaMelo Ball is just a shot-chucking moron who shoots 20% from three. He shot last year 37% from three on 10 attempts per game. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? Do you understand how ridiculous that is to shoot 37% from three on 10 attempts per game? And half of the attempts are contested one-footed fadeaways. The guy takes some of the dumbest shots in the world and shoots 37%. I think if the Minnesota Timberwolves get him to buy in and play a little bit more of a serious game, that percentage goes up. He's 6'7". He averaged 7 assists per game. He's a wizard with the ball in his hands. I don't understand the LaMelo Ball hate from his basketball skill set standpoint. Now, my video got a lot of responses, I think, from Charlotte Hornets fans who are like, he's an idiot, he's not serious, we needed to trade him forever, it is what it is. But I just wanted to say that I think LaMelo Ball gets a bad rep because of his off-court perception and the way that he handles himself. His on-court production is no joke. He just needs the right team to get it out of him, and that's what the Minnesota Timberwolves wanted to do. You know, as far as the Charlotte Hornets, I don't really understand what their idea is. I know people keep saying they want to build around Brandon Miller and Con Knipple. Okay. You need someone to pass him the ball. Con Knipple's elite. Catch and shoot coming off screens. Now, he can create with the ball in his hands, too. He can get downhill. He's got a dribble package. He can finish at the rim. He's not just a three-point shooter. But you still need that point guard setting these guys up coming off of those screens. You can run Brandon Miller ISO ball. He's a great ISO scorer, but you still need that main facilitator. They are extending Kobe White. So, I mean, this is the reason they just shipped LaMelo Ball out the door. Free agent guard Kobe White intends to sign a 3-year, $74 million deal to return to the Charlotte Hornets, sources tell ESPN. White was a major priority for the Hornets and now steps into a new starting role in the backcourt. I thought the Kobe White trade was big time for the Charlotte Hornets. I thought Kobe White coming off the bench was big time. I guess the Charlotte Hornets were just like, hey, we don't feel like you're serious, LaMelo. We feel like we can get more production out of Kobe White as the starting point guard than potentially extending you, because LaMelo's contract is, you know, his contract probably has a lot also to do with why he was traded, right? What's LaMelo Ball's contract looking like? LaMelo Ball is in the third year of a 5-year, $200 million contract. He is owed $40 million this upcoming season, $43 million in 27-28, $46 million in 28-29. Yeah, I forgot about this contract. So the Hornets are just like, can we get the same or more production out of Kobe White for less? Instead of paying LaMelo Ball basically $50 million a season. And so that's the decision that they made. Now, the Timberwolves give up Naz Reid and an unprotected first-round pick and 3 pick swaps. And so people feel like this is a terrible move for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Charlotte Hornets are trading Lamelo Ball to Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves. 2033 unprotected, 3 first-round pick swaps, 3 second-round swaps. I gotta be honest. Like, I do think LaMelo Ball gets a bad rep because of how he handles himself off the court. I think his on-court production is valuable. The problem with the Minnesota Timberwolves is you just gave up so much for a guy who's not going to help you beat the San Antonio Spurs or the Oklahoma City Thunder. We got to call it what it is. Like, that's really, the Timberwolves, they're like, hey, if we don't get something done soon, Anthony Edwards might want out of here. We feel like we're close. We need the guy to take us over the hump. Is it really LaMelo Ball? As much as I like his offensive game, is he really the guy that puts you over the hump? Is he the guy that you give up all of these draft assets for? Now look at this. The Timberwolves now don't control their own first-round picks until 2034. Guys, it is 2026. They don't control their own first-round pick until 2034. The Minnesota Timberwolves literally just went all in on trying to win with LaMelo Ball, who the Charlotte Hornets just said, we don't think LaMelo Ball is a winning player. The Hornets wanted to get rid of his contract. The Timberwolves took the contract and gave you an unprotected first-round pick and 3 pick swaps. 2027 Rudy Gobert trade. 2028 Hornets swap. 2029 top 5 protected Gobert trade. 2030 Charlotte swap. 2031 Rob Dillingham draft night trade. 2032 Charlotte swap. 2033 unprotected to Charlotte. As much as I think LaMelo Ball can help a team with his skill set, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves just made a disaster of a trade. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves just made a disaster of a trade. I don't even know if this trade is better than the Rudy Gobert trade. Giving up 5 first-round picks for a guy with no actual basketball skills. I am flabbergasted. I did. That's all my thoughts on it. I don't understand. I don't understand this trade from either side. But I think last night I was confused at the Hornets. And I think now I'm more understanding why the Hornets did it. And I can't actually figure out what the hell the Minnesota Timberwolves were thinking. This trade is absolutely bonkers. If the Minnesota Timberwolves don't get out of the West in the next 2 or 3 years, they just absolutely cook their franchise until 2035. At which point they would have to tank, get back to the top of the draft, make some draft picks, develop those players. If they don't get out of the West in the next 3 years, they just cook their franchise for 10 years with this trade. Holy shit. I'm happy OKC draft tomorrow. What do we got? Craig Roberts, Melo and Ant off the court content is going to be wild. Hey, at least as NBA fans, we're going to get some LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards combo post-game press conferences. Wow. I mean, talk about a straight-up South Park episode. LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards in a press conference together. You can't write shit better than that. Anthony J, what's up, bro? Thank you for a super chat. It's easy They trade him because his value is at an all-time high, and they are concerned with his ankle history. They want Kobe to be the future guard. Yeah, but it's still crazy for a team to do what the Charlotte Hornets did at the end of last season. They were the #1 offense in the NBA the last couple of months of the NBA season. The Charlotte Hornets haven't seen success since Baron Davis in 2000. And I don't even know if they saw success with that team. Is that even the same franchise? No, that's the Pelicans now. Anyway, the Charlotte Hornets, they used to be the Charlotte Bobcats, whatever. They were never successful. You have a little bit of success and you ship off your lead guard immediately. It still sounds crazy. They must just absolutely fucking hate Lamelo Ball. That has to be it. That, like, everything else aside, his skill set, what he brings to the table, how much they won this year, whatever, last year, when everything's a wash, it has to be mostly the fact that the Charlotte Hornets absolutely hate Lamelo Ball.